Good morning, everyone. This is Jack Gershfeld from Altinex and also AVSnap. And today we're going to go over basics of the AVSnap. It's the first out of 12 webinars. And we'll cover from the beginning all the way to the advanced subjects. All right, let's go ahead and start. Currently, what you see here is the AVSnap 6.0. And this is the new release that we're going to be announcing in about a week or so. It's going to go online where you can download it. And then you also have many additional features here that we will discuss today. This seminar is recorded. Webinar is recorded, so you'll be able to get, after the recording, you can go ahead and listen to it and download it if you need it. And with this, let's go ahead and get started. There's a couple of things that I want to tell you before we start the AVSnap webinar. There are a couple of essential softwares that you're going to need for it to be effective, and I recommend that you download them. One is called a Screen Hunter, and a Screen Hunter allows you to capture the images on the screen. You can use any screen capture software, but this seems to work the best. And we also need a PDF printer. That allows you to print your design in the PDF format so that you can share it with other people. Windows 10.0 already has a PDF printer built in, so you can use that. But we find that the PDF creator has a little bit more features and allows you to print it a little bit easier. All right, with this in mind, let's go ahead and start the basics. What is AVSnap? AVSnap is a general-purpose audio-visual design software manufactured and designed and built by Altinex. We are the ones who designed it and programmed it, so we know everything inside out, how it works. And we're available here for you to, if you have any technical questions or concern with AVSnap, we can address them. We've been supporting AVSnap since 2004, and it's alive and available right now as a version 5.33, and will be updated to 6.0 sometimes this week or early next week. One of the most important thing about AVSnap is the use of keyboard. I find that people who use keyboards have much better ability to use it and much faster operation than if you just use a mouse. So if you want to use a keyboard, you can press F1 and you will get right away the shortcuts for all the keyboard functions. So for example, if I want to create a new page, I press letter N and it tells me new page. If I want to draw a line, I press letter L and now I can draw the line. If I want to draw a circle, I'll press letter O. I know it's not a C, but it gives you a circle. And rectangle is R and you draw a rectangle. So as you can see, I can go really quickly and select things that's needed without going to the actual toolbar and trying to select it from the toolbar. You also have a full user guide. So if you go to help, and right here in the help, you will have a user guide that you can download. But the most important part of the user guide, as you'll notice, is right here, keyboard shortcuts explanations. So keyboard shortcuts explanations define every keyboard and what it does and what functions you can achieve. You also have a mouse control cursors. So when you see the cursors, you know what mouse is doing. So it's worthwhile to go through this and understand all the functionality, because a lot of it is in the AVSnap, and when you see different mouse pointers, it tells you what it's doing at this point. So the help is available online at any time. Let's go over one of the most important thing, and this is the backup files and recovery if anything happens to your file. If you go to help right here, there's a recover file function. And basically, AVSnap saves the files every 2 minutes. So if you need to recover something, you can go back and it will automatically find all the files you've been working on. And you can look at the last 3 minutes you've been working on something. So as you can see, that I've been working on untitled, which is empty file, and it's backed it up at 8:03 right now. And if I draw something on it, it will back up 2 minutes later and 2 minutes later. So if you lose anything, the maximum you can lose is about 2 minutes of your work. If computer shuts down or something happens, just go back here, help, recover file, find the name of your file, open it, and then save it, and you'll be done. You also have a control of a backup. So if right now I have about 106 megabytes of backup files, you can always come back here and decrease it or increase it. You can say unlimited or 100 megabytes, 250. If you exceed something, you can say clean backup folder and just click here and apply. And you can see the backup folder is now 100 megabytes. We find that anything less than 100 megabytes is not useful because you need to keep your backups. All right, let's talk about a little about the menu structures and how everything is positioned in AVSnap. On the left-hand side, you have a toolbar. And the toolbar allows you to select different tools. So for example, if I want to draw a line, I select a line and I draw it. I click, I drag, and I release. Now, if you need any options of this line, you can right-click on it, and you get default format. So you can format the weight, the color, what type of a line it is. Everything can be done from here. If you need a rectangle, you draw a rectangle from here. If you need oval or circle, you draw it from here. So if you need text, you can put the text box and start typing. And you will see that the text box will appear right here in this text. One of the most important thing about AVSnap capabilities is that the mouse wheel scroll wheel is really important here. And you can see if I select this and I want to increase the size of the text, I just move my mouse over this font size, and you can see a little scroll wheel appears. That means I can just move the scroll wheel and make the text bigger or smaller. I don't have to select anything. I just adjust it using the scroll wheel. If you want to do anything with this, for example, if I want to change the text color, I can go to text color right here icon, and I can scroll it, and it becomes red, green, and yellow, and white. Now, if you click on it, you can select all the type of colors. But if you scroll it, you'll get the pre-selected versions of colors. So if I select the rectangle, and I go fill right here, fill rectangle, I can also go to pre-select colors. If I want a line, I can go to different line colors. If I want to increase the line thickness, I just go here and I say, here's my line weight, and I can increase the line weight or I can decrease it. If I want to make it round, I can put round and I can increase or decrease round. As you can see, everything can be done with a scroll wheel and the mouse and the keyboard. That's it. Very quick, easy way to do this. So this is your tool menu, and this tool menu allows you to adjust format for your audio. It allows you to adjust all the different tools, geometrical tools. And then you have alignment toolbar here, and also the levels where you are. For example, if I have a circle on top of the rectangle right now, and you want to put rectangle to the top, you can press it up, and you can see the rectangle is now on top of the circle. If you want to bring the circle on top of the rectangle, you just press it up, and you go on top of the rectangle. So it allows you to move the components up and down, or symbols up and down relative to each other. One of the things to notice that AVSnap has an auto-numbering system, and I'll explain you how it works. For example, if you have a text and box and you put a text in saying input 1, and you want this text to be automatically incremented. So I'm going to put input 1. I'm going to increase the size of it. There's my input 1. And right here, this is a function called auto-increment text numbers. Auto-increment can be turned off or turned on. If you turn it on, when you copy-paste, you can see that's automatically increases it. So it's very easy when you go input 1 through 10. You can easily just press the buttons, copy-paste, and it will automatically increment. So if I want to go to 8, I select all of this, and I now go to 8. All right, the same thing occurs if you want to go and say letters. So if you're going to say input A, for example. If you're going to go and say A, for example, like this, and then copy-paste, you can go A, B, C, D, and so forth. So that's auto-increment. Now, it's a blessing, but it's a curse, because if you have a model number, for example, I have MT100-101, And I want to duplicate multiple model numbers. So if I put it here, you see it's going to be MT 100, 102. So you don't want to do this. So when you're moving something with the model numbers or duplicating, make sure to turn this off. And that will not increment it anymore. So if you're copying from page to page. So that gives you kind of a mixed blessing. On one hand, it's very helpful. On the other hand, if you forget, you may end up with model numbers you didn't expect. Now, a couple of things also to mention how you select the objects here. If you notice, if I move from right to left mouse, so I click on the right-hand side, I move it from left, whenever I touch an object, it gets selected. So you can see how it gets selected when I touch the object. If I go from left to right, okay, if I go from left to right here, you can see that I have to enclose the object inside the selection. So it makes it very easy to select the object. So from left to right, I can select all of them at the same time. From right to left, I just touch them and I select only the objects that I want to touch. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. I'm going to go ahead and delete this now. And let's go into the function called draw assist. Let's say if I have two inputs right here, one input here and one output, and I need to connect to the cable. One way is to connect to the cable is like this, and then you double click here and you try to find the center here and try to find the vertical. So to avoid this, so that's automatically adjusted for you, we have a draw assist feature. A draw assist feature is right here. You can see there's 90 degrees. Once you turn it on, as you can see, it tells you where this line is going to snap. So if I let it go, it will snap to the top. If I select here, bring it outside, it will snap to the side. So you can see it automatically adjusted for you the right angles when you adjust the lines. You can also grab it on the center and move it from left to right, or you can grab it here and move it up and down. So that's what we call a draw assist. Very powerful system, and you'll see when you connect multiple lines, it becomes very easy to do this. One more thing in the version that we're discussing here, we also have email system built in. So if you need to send a file to somebody, you can just select send file, and you can send it to Altinex support. So if you want to send it to us so we can review it and help you, or you can send it to your friend. So if you send it to other, you just click here. Do you want to set expiration file name, date? Most of the time you don't want to do it, but if you're sending it to your client, you may want to put an expiration date and saying that file becomes unusable after such a date. So after the date that you send it, when the date comes in, the file, you cannot open it anymore. So I'm going to say no, and you can see that it's asking me to Office 365, and then it will go ahead and email this. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel, but that's what's happening here. Okay. So the other thing is, if you need help when nobody's available, you can always jump to the forum. So if you go into the help and there's a forum, the forum is located on our website, and just register for the forum, log in, and you'll see there's a forum with people having different subject discussing here. So you're welcome to just jump in and post the message, and we'll get this message. We'll respond to it as fast as possible. All right, let's move on a little bit on the top, and we'll go through this bar right here on the top. On the top, you have a usual bar that allows you to save file, open file, new files. There is a function called communication mode. It's a little bit more advanced. We'll get into it a little bit later. Then, of course, printer setup, show print area. So if you click here, it will actually show you what the print area is. So it looks like my page is set up to much smaller than what my page design page is. So we'll talk about it a little bit later. You also can display multiple pages. So for example, if I add a new page, and let's say I'm going to add 10 new pages, okay? All right, let's add a new pages. Let's say 5 new pages. So you can see page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If I want to have multi-page view, I can click here and I will see all the pages at the same time. If I want to go to the page number 5, I double click and I go to page number 5. So it allows you to quickly see the navigation and see where you are in the project. and you can zoom in or zoom out to those pages. So if you zoom in, you can have more pages. The AVSnap is designed to have as many pages as you want. We have some designs that have 200, 300 pages. And one person was using it to write a user guide. So it ended up to be like 230 pages. So whatever you need, it will accommodate. In addition, you can work with PDF files here. As you can see right here on this new version, we have a PDF icon. When you click on PDF file, you end up with two different panes on AVSnap. You can drag and drop PDF file on one side, drag and drag different PDF file on the other side, and you can move the pages, adjust the pages, delete pages, add pages, and then save it as a new file. So that's a brand new function that we have right now. All right, with this in mind, let's go ahead and do a little bit more advanced things. On the right-hand side, you will see there's a color bar. A color bar allows you to quickly select the colors for specific items. So if I take a rectangle and now it's selected, if I want to make it red fill, so when you put your mouse over any color, a little menu pops up and you say fill, and that will, okay, let's see, fill color, line set. Oh, it's not doing what I want to do, so not sure. Let me delete this page. Okay. Yeah, I'm using, somebody asked if we're using 6.0. Yes, I'm using 6.0, which will be available in a couple of weeks, 1 to 2 weeks. We have it all finished up, just closing it up. But on the website, you have 5.3.2, and then it automatically upgrades you to 5.3.3. But for now, I'm demonstrating 6.0. That will be available. Most of the functionalities are the same, but there are some advanced features that we added that will make it much simpler for you. So you can see that I can select fill color, and I can also select the line color for this. So that's your toolbar on the right-hand side. Finally, on the bottom, you have layers. You actually can have up to 10 layers for every page, and layers are used to put background images or do something. So for example, if I put a rectangle here, so there's my rectangle, and I select layer 1, it's now assigned to layer 1, and then I can put another circle, and I'm going to put it to layer 2. Okay, so they're now on 2 layers. As you can see, there's layer 1 on the side, and there's layer 2 on the side. So I can click layer 1, and it will show only rectangle. I can click layer 2, it will only show the circle. Or I can click both of them, and you will see that both of them are here. The layers are very nice because you can lock the layers. Right here, there's a little bars that corresponds to locking. So if I lock the layer, you can see I cannot pick anything up. I can still go to this individual layer, but once they display together, I cannot do anything, so I can draw things on top of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and line and fill will make white. So I can draw things on top of it, but I cannot select anything. So layers are pretty important once you get started with this. All right, so let's move on with the next function here. On the bottom, you will see a bar that allows you to do a quick changes. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That allows you to change functions really quickly using the keyboard numbers. So for example, if I press number 6, you can see I'm changing the rotating angle of the object. So if it's 1 degree, if I select the object, let me go ahead and start a new page here. We're not going to save anything. So I'm going to draw the object right here, and I can rotate it. Right there. I can rotate it left, and if I press Shift space bar, I can rotate it left and right. Okay. If I increase this by pressing number 6, to 15 degrees, you can see that it will rotate in increments of 15 degrees. Okay, if I decrease in 30s, it will rotate in increments of 30 degrees. So that's what this function is. You can also change the color to change background, the black color. You can change the thickness of the line if you need to do it really quickly. You can just press it, it will change it quickly. Press number 4 button. You can also change color quickly of the line color. And you can change the type of line you have by pressing 2. You can change dashed, dots, dashed like this. So many different things can be done from the keyboard and from these little bars. And that kind of gives you an overall understanding what the capabilities are. There's many more capabilities that are hidden and not available. Some of them are control functions, programming, but we're going to go into it a little bit later. Let's go ahead and start a small design. And as we go through design, I will walk you through different functions. So number 1, let's go ahead and select the page size we have. A page size is A. I'm going to select A. I'm going to go also make sure that we're in inches. So everything we do is going to be in inches for now. So we set our scale. All right. And we should be and apply this. And now we're all set. Now, the first thing that I want to do when I start a new project, I want to create a couple of additional pages. So I'm going to say add new page. And I'll create 3 pages for right now, just to get started. So the page 1, page 2, and page 3, and there's a page 4. And I'm going to rename page 4 as my template page. The templates page are very powerful because the template page allows you to set the template for all the other pages. And somebody was asking questions if you have a metric measurements. Absolutely. As you can see, you can set it to millimeters, you can set it to centimeters, meters, inches, or feet. So everything can be done either metric or it can be done imperial system. So now that we have our page, I'm going to right-click on the tab right here, and I'm going to rename the page as template. Template 1. And you can have multiple templates for your pages. And I'm going to rename this 3rd page as template 2. Now, the reason I kind of put it in reverse order so I can show you, you can move the pages right here. Just click on the tab and just move the page in front of it, or click on the tab and move the page behind it. It doesn't matter. The position of the page is irrelevant. Now, to make these pages template pages, because this is just a name, it doesn't do anything, but you actually have to click this button called Set as Template Page. So I click here, and this became my template. And also, I'm going to select the 2nd page and make it a template. And I also am going to make it invisible so that we don't print it, we don't count it, we don't do anything. So clicking here, you can see a little star right on the right-hand side. And then I'm going to go to template 1 and click it here. So now they're not visible. So what do we put on a template? Let's put the first template. I'm going to use Pages Library. And if you need to add additional libraries, this is our library pane where all the libraries are. You can just press letter A. A letter A is a shortcut that allows you to go right into the libraries. And it's taking a little time to get to the server to get the library. But what's going to happen, you're going to have a selection of libraries right here. And you can decide which library you want. You have manufacturer libraries. I'm happen to use our own libraries from our server, but you can download it. Every AVSnap download comes with its own libraries, so you'll be able to get those. And one of the libraries is called Pages. Pages is a pre-formatted library just so you don't have to start from scratch. Now, the way it works, I'm going to select this symbol right here on the right-hand side. It's 8.5 by 11 with title blocks and locators. So first I'm going to press letter F. What letter F does is centers the page. So if I zoom out, for example, and move to the right like this, if I press letter F, it centers the page. When I double-click on the symbol, it will center the symbol on the page. And you can see now this is my title. So it's right here. So the first thing I want to do is to lock it in place. And I'm going to do this by pressing letter U. Letter U. Now, if you want to find out all of the shortcuts, again, you can press F1, and you can see letter U is lock and unlock selected object. Okay. So I locked it, so now it's in place. The next thing I want to do is to provide some common information. So there's my block. I'm going to use letter T to insert the text here, and I'm going to put Jack. This is going to be my title here, and I'm going to say this engineer. Now, as you can see, the font came out really big. So, but I'm not afraid. I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to scroll down and make it smaller. And I'm going to remove a bold so it's normal, okay? So I'm going to also come back and copy it, put it here. But instead of this, I'm going to put Sam, who was the engineer. And then finally, I'm going to put the date. So let's say it's 08/9/2016. Now, the nice thing is later on I will show you how you can change the date automatically. So there's my initial project. So one of the other things I want to do, I want to know how many pages I have in the project and how many total pages and also page number for each individual page. So I'm going to go ahead and create another text object. And here, you can see we have a shortcut called P. So I'm going to say page, and then I'm going to put P, tells you that this is a page number of, and then I'm going to say a second shortcut, total number of pages. And you can see now that's automatically inserted page 3 of 2. Now, page 3 of 2, it's correct because this is a template page, but once I move it to the page 1 and 2, it will be correct. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce it a little bit so it makes it a little bit smaller, a little bit to the right. Okay. Finally, I'm going to put the title of the project, my new project, and insert it here. And if you need any description, now you can create, later on we'll show you how to create your own library symbols and how to put things in. So it's not going to be that difficult, but for right now you can use this one. So now that my template is completed, I'm going to press letter F, and now I'm going to go to my page, design page. And right here, I can apply this template right here. You see, I can select template 1 and 2. On the top left corner, I can drop down and say template 1. And as soon as I select the template, you can see there's an outline. You can't move it, you can't do anything, but you can now start to draw your project. Okay, the same thing, I'm going to go to page 2, and I'm going to put template 1 also. So now that we have all of them set up, we're ready to go. So we can do a couple of things. We can use a library, or we can design the project from scratch. And we're going to do a quick from scratch design. Let's assume that you have a customer who needs a specific system, and you want to just use the pictorials to show them what the system is going to look like. So what I usually do, I go to the web browser, and let's jump to Google search, and we're going to jump to symbols. So for example, I want to have a laptop. So we'll jump to laptop, and there's a couple of ways you can do it. I'll show you a few ways. We'll go to images, and I like this laptop, so I'm going to just move it here. Now, some of them you can move, some of them you have to click here, depending on your system, and it will move it right into the page, you see? Now notice how big this is, so I can scale it down to smaller, and probably because I want my inputs to be on the right-hand side, I may want to mirror it, and bottom left corner right here, there's a mirror function, so it looks a little bit more presentable. There's my input, okay? Notice that this is looks a little bit off because it's not scaled. So I'm going to go ahead, right click, and I'm going to resample the image. I'm going to resample the image so it looks a little bit better. There you go. And now it fits into the one-to-one. It fits really nicely. So right on the left-hand side, there is a clone function. I can click on the clone function, and I'm just going to drag it out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this looks great. I'm going to on purpose move them around so it looks like I didn't know how to put them straight. And now I want to align them. So I'm going to right select them. And right here, see there's alignment. So I'm going to center them first. And then I'm going to move them so that they're equal distance from each other. And now you have the alignment completed. So the next thing we need is probably some kind of display. So I'm going to put I like to use Word TV because that gives me a quick image, and I can jump and pick up, let's say, this display. And what happens here that I don't want to have this foot right here. So I'm going to use my screen capture function, the one that I told you in the beginning of the seminar, and just capture that image right from here. It doesn't have to be high res because we're doing it for sales presentation. And let me see if I captured it right. Let me try it again. All right, there we are. Okay. So now come back here, and there's my screen. So I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit smaller, put a couple of screens, and let's say I have 2 screens here. So there's my quick setup. If I want to align them, I just align them next to each other. And I also can resample them because there's no reason for you to have bigger files than necessary. And you can see on the bottom right here, on the bottom, you'll see the page size. This one is 25 kilobytes. Now, meanwhile, as we work, we constantly get backed up. So if I go to help recover file, you can see that it's been backed up 826, 828, and 830. So we're at 831 right now. So even if it's untitled and you never saved it, it will keep up the backup. So if anything happens, I just come here and I recover the file. So the maximum I lost is a couple of minutes. All right. So now we got this. So the next thing we need to do is to see if we can get a product. So I'll just select Altinex product. And I'll use 5x2 switcher just for purposes of demonstrations. UT260 052. And there's a capture the screen. That's why I like this software, because you can just come here and just kind of capture it really quick. Okay, you can put it here. Or if you think that you want a single instead of a dual, maybe, let's see if I have something else here. There could be. You can take one of the back panels or something, but you can just grab any type of a symbol from any website that you're using, okay? I'm going to put it here on the center, and I'm going to resample it. So there's our simple system so far. And finally, maybe I want to have a touchpad or iPad to control it. So we can just come back here and say iPad images. And we'll just grab this image because it's sideways, so it looks a little bit better. Again, I'm going to grab it using my screen hunter. Makes it really quick. I press F6 and I grab it and I put it here. And there it is. So there's our little system. I know it's simplified, but at least you get some idea of how things go. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw a line to connect them together. So in this case, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to say I'm going to have input 1, input 2, input 3, input 4, input 5. So one of the things we can do, we can select all of them by clicking on the right-hand side and then moving to the left. It will select everything that touches. Okay, and that's where this function is important. And I'm going to put an arrow to the right. And you can see I just pressed an arrow key. That's a shortcut, and it puts the arrow to the right. If I press it again, it puts the arrow to the left. If I press it again, it puts the net names on it. And then the other way, and then no nets, and finally arrows. So I'm going to leave it here. So now, what we really need is to see how we can align those so they look nice and straight. So I'm going to go ahead and use Draw Assist right now. I'm going to double click, and you can see as soon as I click on it, let it go. Double click, let it go. Double click, let it just automatically align for me. And there you go. So now I'm going to come back and say here, bring it here, and I'm going to move it to the right. Bring it here, move it to the right a little bit. Bring it here, move it to the right. Bring it down, move it to the right like this, and finally bring it down and then move it to the right. So you can see that in a few seconds, I was able to make them nice and clean. I didn't need to have a grid, alignment, nothing. It automatically does it for you. Select them all, make them a little bit thicker, okay? Maybe 2 points. And maybe you want to make them a different color. So select line color, and there's your inputs. Then we'll do the same thing on the right-hand side. We're going to take the output from here, go to the right here, and go to the right here. Select both of them, make an arrow to the right, double-click, and get the draw assist going. One line, double-click, and draw assist going. Another line, align it together, select it, set the line color to purple, and increase it to 2. So there's your simple setup. You can do a couple of other things, and we'll finally take control and do the line here for control purposes. If you press Control key, it will restrain your line, and you can draw it perfectly straight. If you don't have a Control key, you can draw it in any angle, but a Control key will lock the line into the angles that's shown right here on the bottom, 30 degrees in this case. So I'm going to hold Control key for a second, put an arrow to the right, put Control key, and also want to put an arrow to the left because it's a bidirectional communication. And maybe I'll make it a green color, line color, and make it a little bit thicker. And there you go. So there's your simple. Let's go ahead and now we're going to say, I'll put a little bit of a meat into it. Let's go ahead and put T here and say laptop 1. And remember the function for auto increment? This is where it's going to pay off. All right, you're going to put a laptop 1 here. Let's make it a little bit smaller. 12 size is okay. Make sure that your auto increment is on, and just zoom out and say copy paste, and just come back here. Or you can use a clone option to pick it up and just move it out. Okay, just move it out and move it out. There's your two laptops. Okay, 5 laptops. You can copy this, go into here on the other end, double click and say display 1, and then copy paste. And now you have a display 2. So you can see how simple it is in a few seconds to put a little bit of meat into the system. Then we'll come back here and we'll put here switch. And then on the bottom, we'll put control. And there we go. There's the overall system is ready to go. A couple of other things we can do here. Let's say I know that we're going to be using HDMI cable, and I'd like to name this as HDMI cable. So we can come here and press shortcut for cables. And I know it's an interesting shortcut, but it's a K because C is busy already with something else. So if you go to F1, you can see K is the cable properties, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and select K, select the cable and press K. And now I can call this HDMI 1. And let's say this is going to be my 12-foot cable, okay? We want to include in the cable list. And then we're going to go ahead and apply. And I want to show the net name on both sides. And as you can see, the name of the cable appears on both sides. I can use the weight and the size, and I can just come down here and make it a little bit smaller so it's not as pronounced, okay? And let me see if we can do something else here. Copy properties and paste properties. You can see that I can make it so it appears on all of them. You'll still have to rename this net. So pressing here, we'll put K and put HDMI 2. And then HDMI 3 and so forth, okay? So as you can see, we're slowly building more robust display, and it's now you can show it to a customer. Now the question is, how do I show it to a customer? You can do a couple of things. You can save the file and send it to a customer, and they can look at it and see what they need to do. You can also put the expiration date. So let's go ahead and I'm going to save this file for right now on my desktop. Okay, there's my desktop, and I'll call it my design. My design. And saved. So now look at this. Right here, we have a function called set password. Okay. And you can set password, and you can also not to put password, but put expiration date. So you can say that this file will expire in 3 weeks, and you can save it. You can also link the project to a specific computer, so they can only open it on a specific computer. And you can put unique ID for the computer. You can also protect programming only. Or you can make it and say, this file should be available for 20 days. Why do we need this? Most of the time we need it when we supply a file that you know is going to be obsolete, and you don't want your customer to have obsolete documentation. So usually what I do, I expire every project 30 days. And then when the project is complete release, then I don't put anything, and now this project is available. But that gives you a clean way of locking up the files. And what you can do also, you can put your name here and put the phone number. And when it expires, it will display this. And you can say, Jack, and it's going to say, please call this phone number if you need a newer version of the file. And then you're all set. All right? Okay. As we move forward, we need to add a couple of more capabilities to this diagram. We want to make it smarter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right-click on this display, and I'm going to convert it to symbol. So I'm going to convert it to a photo symbol right here. Convert to symbol, photo symbol. I did this. And then I'm going to double-click on it, and it tells me, hey, this is a symbol now. And because it's a symbol, you can actually put designator. So I can put TV1. I can also put a monitor number KX2465. I can put description, 80-inch display, for example. I can put manufacturer name, Sony. I can put manufacturer phone number, www.sony.com. And I can also put actual link to the web page where this symbol is. And finally, put a retail price, and let's put it $825. And I don't want it to be adjustable. I just want it to be fixed. So here's 1 unit. So instead of keeping this now, I'm going to go ahead and delete it and copy paste here. So now we have 2 symbols. Why do I want to have symbols? You'll find out this in 1 second, because I'm going to take this line, and I'm going to move this line closer to the symbol and let it go. And it's going to ask you, do you want to add a snap point? If I say yes, we just create a snap point, and this is attached to the snap point. So now you have more intelligent system that can track what's connected to what. So I'm going to go ahead, since I already have the snap point, I'm going to copy paste this here and just take this line. And you see it will tell you that it wants to snap to this point. As you move around, there's a little line, let it go, it will snap. Then bring it here, adjust it, and you're all set. Now, why the snap points are important? If I double click on the snap point, I can actually define what that is. So in this case, I can put a description. I can put HDMI input in. I can also put others and put HDMI type connector. There's one connector. What type of category it is? It's a video connector. It's an input, and it's a female connector. Now, if you really want to, you can also put an image here. So let's go ahead and see if we can put a little image here. So I'm going to come right here to HDMI here, to the Google, and I'm going to type HDMI connector. Okay, there's my HDMI connector. And let's see if I can make it. There's a good view of HDMI connector. I'm going to just screen it right from here. Not going to maximize, just right from here. There's my connector. And I screened it. Now I have a little folder where everything gets saved when I screenshot. So you can see I put it in this folder, and it's going to show up in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and snap point image, get here. Okay, My folder is getting refreshed right now. Give it a second. So it gets refreshed. And meanwhile, we're going to go right into this directory where I have everything. The very last file that, let's see, date. So I did it right here on the bottom. That's the one I did right now. Okay, apply. And you can see my connector appeared here. So now that I saved it here, if I move my mouse over this, you can see this HDMI in, HDMI, video input, female socket, and the picture is there. So you know exactly what connector it is. Now, later on, in a different webinar, we will learn how to create your own library like this, how to have your symbols, everything attached together. But this is just a quick overview. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this symbol and put this, copy paste this again. Now, in real life, I would only create one symbol and then create it, different copies of it. But I just, for purpose of showing to you, I kind of took multiple steps. So you can see, as I move my mouse over it, it tells me exactly what the connector is, okay? We can do the same thing for the laptops, and we can do the same thing for the switch. So it all comes together as one thing. So let's go ahead and see why we went through all this trouble. How does it help us as we go through this? Well, number one, if you have symbols, you can print a list of materials. So in this case, I'm going to press M. And you can see, because I have these two symbols, I have two KX2465 80-inch displays, $825 each, and total cost $1,650. Copy paste, and you can go directly into the Excel spreadsheet. So if you have all of them installed this way, okay, so I'm going to put it here, and you can just pay. As you can see, the way it's designed, that each portion ends up in its own cell. So it's very easy when you have multiple manufacturers. It also groups it by manufacturer name. So if you have Sony, Altinex, if you have any other manufacturers, it will separate them into each manufacturer. Okay. One of the questions is, when we save it as a PDF, does the mouse over notes show? No, when you save it to PDF, it only shows what you see here. So you see there's a snap points here. A lot of times when you save it to PDF, you don't want to see snap points. So there is a shortcut called S, which removes the snap points. So now it's nice and clean for presentation. Also, if you press F5, you go into presentation mode. If you can see on the right-hand side, it says ready. And then when you press it like this, you now have a presentation mode. So if you show it to a customer, you can do presentation mode right from this software. You can move things around. You can zoom easily on something. You can demonstrate what this is. You can move this around, show each individual part, zoom out, press F key, and then space bar, and then exits. And that's it. So there's many things you can do, but presentation mode is really good because it allows you to present what you just drawn. And I know I went over it very, very quickly because I just want to share with you just an introduction so you understand the power of the system and all the capabilities it has. We will have more webinars available in the next 12 weeks. Every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, we will have a webinar here, and we'll go into more depths and spend a little bit more time on going through the symbol design, system design, and configuration. Meanwhile, you can use the version 5.33 that when you download it will automatically upgrade to that version. And within a week, week and a half, we will have 6.0 available, and you'll be able to jump right into this. And I'd like to kind of stop at this point because there's a lot of things I covered, and I went through it very fast. Some parting thoughts that for you to remember. Number one, print out this sheet, okay? This is your shortcuts. I've seen many people who decide that they're used to using mouse and they move mouse around. But I can tell you from my personal experience, you'll be 5 to 10 times faster if you use your left-hand side as your keyboard hand and the right-hand side as your mouse hand, or reverse, okay? But you're using this shortcut. Once you get used to it, it becomes second nature and it becomes very quick, okay? Number two, go to the website and look at the user guide. It has lots of information in the user guide. It will allow you to quickly do things that you thought were not possible with this software. And right now what I'd like to do is I'm going to stop sharing for a second, and I'm going to switch it to the mode where you can talk, guys. And if you have any questions, you can just ask me. So give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. I'm going to switch to Q&A
All
mode.
attendees are muted and may unmute themselves by pressing *6.
And then I'm going to share it again, desktop. So right now, all of you can unmute yourself if you want to, and talk if you have any questions. So if you have any questions, go ahead. We're available to just go over it. If you look at your user interface, you can just click the button and unmute yourself. There's one person online that I see here. His name is James Schaefer. And he's been working on AVSnap for many, many years. He is one of the first ones who told me that he used like 100 pages in AVSnap. So I just want to welcome James back. I haven't talked to you for many years, but I'm so happy on this webinar right now. Does anybody has any questions, or everybody feels comfortable? Okay, I'm looking at the chat. Everything is moving well. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I did have a question, and this is probably not the relevant time to ask, but if you tell me later, that's fine. The text editor, the #J#, what does that generate, or what is it looking for?
Oh, okay.
I figured out all the others, but #J#, I just couldn't figure out which one that was.
Okay. #J# is referred to the, let me look at this, let me pull this quickly for you, double click on it. If you have a designator, #J# is actually, so this is a connector 1, it will actually display the designator next to the symbol. Okay, so let me just see if I can duplicate that function here. #J#, give me 1 second. J#, wait a minute, and I didn't put the tooltips on this. Oh, that's terrible. #J# is when you put it in, and you're next to this symbol, it should display the symbol designator. I'll have to get back to you. I don't know right now. I think this is what it is for sure, because that's how it was programmed. But I'm not sure exactly how to make it work. So I'll give you an answer. I'll put it on the forum and provide an answer to this. Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. We have some other questions coming up right now. Import library from web fails. Okay. Yes, guys. It will fail if you use the way. It all depends your system setup. And unfortunately, the Windows 10 is a little bit paranoid. It doesn't let you do many things. So if you wanted to go file and add libraries from the web, you see it says cannot connect to web server, okay? Because you're not starting as administrator. You need to be as administrator to exit to the web and try to download the library. So let me see if we can do it this way. So I'm going to close this. Do you want to save this? Yes, I want to save this. And right-click. And there's a shortcut, Properties. You can see right here, you go to the Properties. And then you want to do compatibility, run security. Let's see where it is. Run program as administrator right there. So when you start the program, okay, now it started. When I go file and libraries from the web, you can see now the libraries are available here. So unfortunately, that's one of the Windows quirks for right now. And but the way to do it is just to go to shortcut and set the shortcut properties. And make sure that they're marked as administrator, run as administrator right here.
Yeah, hello.
Yep.
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. Why has AVSnap been offline for quite a while now?
Why the AVSnap is not
Has been,
updated?
yeah, the website has been dormant for quite a while now, for like 2 years or so. Has not
Well,
been updated.
the reason was because we have a priority. We provide AVSnap free of charge. We don't charge for it. It's a service that we provide to audiovisual community because AV community has been really nice to us, and this is part of the things that we decided a long time ago that anybody who starts in AV industry needs to have a software that makes it easier for you to design projects and present projects. So this is our way of providing this service. For the last 2 years,
Yeah.
we've been busy, so we kind of
Okay.
let it go. But right now we went back and said, okay, it's time for us to update it. We have many different new functions. So
Yeah.
the new website will be up and running in a couple of weeks, and the new
All right.
will be released also.
All right.
So it's a very good question. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've been expecting AVSnap to be updated for a couple of while now, but I just been like that. Now I have another question for the library. Has the library been updated? A lot of features has it been updated in the library?
The question is whether the libraries have been updated. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, has the library updated now?
Yeah. So most of the time we're not in kind of business of creating libraries, but we'll be happy to help whoever wants to create the libraries. We were hoping at some point that the community, we have about 2,000 registered AVSnap users right now. We're hoping that
Okay.
people would share the libraries, and we would provide it to other people. Library creation is not that difficult, but it just takes time. We don't mind doing it. If you need some library, we can start the library for you, and then you can finish it by yourself once you get the seeds going.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Jack, could I say something on that? The
Yes, go ahead.
libraries, I have tons and tons of libraries that I've made myself, and I've never shared them only because I'm not sure I've ever vetted out the process of how we want to establish not just being able to share libraries, but being able to share libraries that are viable and complete and usable without that are made with forethought and with good practices. I don't know the other way to say that. Maybe like with an air of professionality. Is that like as far as sharing libraries? Is this basically going to be a share at your own risk, or use shared content at your own risk, or will it be moderated? What do you think?
You have a very good point. Obviously, we can't keep up with every single manufacturer modifying their products. So I don't have a good view on this, except that we would like to start with sharing. And then once we start with sharing, we have a critical mass, maybe to set up a certification program where the certain libraries will be certified and available. And the certified library will probably benefit the author of the library, so they'll get a little bit of money for it, versus non-certified will be just free and available for everybody. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
But that's what we're thinking. I think that would make most sense, because if you're spending time and making sure the library is up to date, then you need to make sure that you get compensated for it. But if we're just sharing this as a free enterprise, and we'd like to share this program because we know how important to have the good tool when you do AV design, then people, of course, can do it at their own risk. I mean, we know that Wikipedia has lots of information that's not accurate, and everybody contributes, right?
Sure.
So if anybody has libraries, please send it to us. We'll post them online, make them available, give you credit, so you'll have your name on it, and people will know who to go to if they need to have better libraries.
I can share quite a few libraries if you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have
Absolutely.
tons of them.
Yeah, just send it to Jack at avsnap.com or Jack at altinex.com, and I'll be very happy to work with you on that.
We can do that.
Do you have any other questions? Anybody else? All right, guys, it's 9 a.m. exactly here, and I don't want to keep you any longer. It was great being with you, and for you to stay here with me for 1 hour. It was a pleasure. I'm looking forward to see each one of you next week, and we'll continue where we ended. Thank you again, and everybody take care.